So Mr. Eric, so Mr. Matt Burkett, so Mr. Tanner, Titan Goju, Dicker T, Mr. Matt Frank.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing? Your favorite thing about giant monsters? About giant monsters. About giant monsters. About giant monsters.
I think my favorite thing about giant monsters is
That's what I thought. I'm like, just blow them the
My absolute favorite thing.
Well, what isn't to like?
I like the majestic quality of them. It really makes humanity seem a lot smaller than we usually think because we like to think we're bigger than that. And I think giant monsters as a whole, in terms of like theology, shows us there are things beyond us, kind of like in Lovecraftian sense. Also, it's just good fun to just see people just go squish.
They're constantly putting humanity in their place.
I think I just love that anything goes. You can have literally any kind of a creature, monster, whatever. It can be a bat, starfish even, so anything goes.
And what is your favorite thing about giant monsters?
I love the level of destruction whenever two of them are clashing, to be honest.
That's sadistic. Wow.
My favorite thing about giant monsters is how unique the giant monsters can look, and depending on how they're built. Like you started off with something as simple as just a giant dinosaur with some radioactive scars on it, but later on it evolved into like a giant insect that controls a horde of other insects and has like two people in an awkward position inside the suit manipulating everything to make it look as realistic as possible. And I mean, look no further than like the Ultraman series to see all the zany, insane, and interesting different interpretations of how a giant monster can look. You're not going to get that in any other form of media instead of just Kaiju Eiga and Kaiju film.
When they go.
It's certainly a cathartic time at the movies. Because, you can have fun getting scared, seeing things stomp your city into rubble, and realize everything's okay when you leave the theater. But there's also a lot of good moral storytelling going on in there. And not all the monsters are bad. Some of them are good, like Mothra, who's one of my favorites.
Giant monsters. The stories that pop up from them, the aesthetic of it, like it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I know that might not be a great answer, but it's
all answers are great answers.
I like that each one has its own personality, and that personality comes through in the visual look as well as like the sound behind the monster.
I like that giant monsters are unstoppable.
You know, as movies, they're very entertaining, but they're also, you know, there's more to think about when you're watching a kaiju film, like the original Godzilla or Gamera. They've got some interesting meat on their bones. So whenever I leave a kaiju movie, I usually have more to think about when I'm leaving the theater.
My favorite thing about giant monsters is the story, the origin story behind each one. Godzilla in particular, in his first draft, I mean, it was sort of touched on in the 54 movie, but it was much more in-depth. The original origin was that Godzilla's species was still alive, like, under the ocean depths in, like, an undersea cave, like, cavern system. And then when the Americans were starting to detonate the H-bombs in the Pacific, we killed off all of Godzilla's, like, family, like, the entirety of his species, and he was the lone survivor. And he emerged from the ocean mutated, scarred, and ticked off. And that's why he takes his revenge on humanity.
That's awesome.
I agree.
Well, of course, I love giant monsters. There's a lot of really good things about them. I think what gets me is like the weirdness and the mystique with some of them. Like, I love the cheesy little monsters because they're just so unique, and like a lot of kaiju creations are kind of things that you can't really do in any other genre. So that's, I think, what I love about giant monsters.
Big Lizard.
I think for me, it's like escape from reality. Sometimes reality gets kind of crappy, so it's a nice escape from that. It's a way to kind of turn off your brain sometimes. Just enjoy what you're watching.
You know what I like when it comes to giant monsters? It's big butts, and I cannot lie.
Probably thinking about how much giant monster poop there is around the world. He's gonna clean that up.
We become completely insignificant and nothing compared to these hulking monstrosities that are just echoes of terror.
My favorite thing about giant monsters is what they mean to the people who create them.
take Godzilla for example. He is a symbol of the horrors of nuclear war and whatnot. And you take like other monsters like Rodan and Mothra. Yeah, monsters like those who usually like represent natural disasters like hurricanes, typhoons, and whatnot. And sure, like monsters can have really cool designs, like really cool superpowers and whatnot. But I feel like what makes them really special is like the meaning behind those monsters.
Well, I love destruction first and foremost. Anything that can cause destruction. So if it's a natural disaster, it's pretty good. If it's something else, it's pretty good. But if there's a live thing with like a big foot that can smush something, that's the most exciting thing. So the interaction between destruction, little people, and like giant foot, that's why it's like for Godzilla 98, like all they show is like a big foot smushes a T-Rex skeleton, and that's all you need for imagination. So that's like the basis of my entire reality.
My favorite thing about giant monsters is that they're everything I want to be, because I'm small, I'm kind of quiet, and you know, they're just, I've always felt a kinship with them, sort of. I want to be big and loud and strong, and I want to save the world or destroy it.
My favorite thing would probably be the music. The music is super powerful, brings back a lot of childhood memories, and also just seeing amazing action sequences.
Testosterone boosting fights.
Tate! What is your favorite part about Big Monster? My favorite thing about Giant Monsters is everything. I love the designs, the movies, the things that go back into it. But probably most importantly, I love all of this. I love what you guys do. I love all the support you give me. I like those 7 years videos. I can't believe all that. Thank you all so much. It was nice to see some awesome people at G-Fest. I'll be there next year, and keep on watching. Thanks, everybody.